Hey, what's going on? Zero Day Jay here. This video is not an update for Apex or Take Profit Trader. This is just something I wanted to show you on the charts. I'm looking at the NQ on TradingView, and I have a bunch of indicators showing, not a ton. I got, well, I do, but I'm going to get rid of some of them for now because I want to show you the opening range breakout, the orb, the orb 15-minute. All right, so we're going to keep that. These pivots aren't in the way. Let me get rid of the moving averages just so we can see. You see this right here? This is the opening range breakout. So the opening range basically is when the Qs opened. So the Qs open at 6 o'clock every day, when there's trading, Monday through, Sunday through Friday, right? 6 p.m. Sunday through Thursday. Yeah, because they don't open on Friday. So every day at 6 p.m. the futures are open for 23 hours. They close at 5 the next trading day, right? On the Eastern time zone. So what this is right here is the range that the Qs traded in during the first 15 minutes that they were open, not the Qs, the NQs. Okay. So there's so much activity that happens in these orbs, is what people like to call them for short, instead of saying opening range breakout every time. Call it the orb. A lot of times you'll see it hit the bottom. I mean, this obviously right here is the first 50. I'm looking at the 15-minute chart. So obviously right here, you're going to see it go up and down from the bottom to the top because that's the range. That's the opening range. I could change it to the 5-minute, you see, but I don't want to stretch the chart out. The 15 is fine. And a lot of times you'll see what happens is it will, look what happened here. So it broke out of the orb. Like the market was still running because of whatever the FOMC meeting had to say, and Jerome Powell. The market pumped, like pumped, like popped. Like, look at this. It went berserk. I mean, we're talking from the last bottom. Let's see what the last bottom was. 245. It's up almost 400 points from there. So it's just going ridiculously crazy right now. This is probably all-time highs or something. I don't know. I'm not going to dig into it to look. I don't really care because it doesn't matter for us. I mean, I guess you could say, yeah, if we're at all-time highs, it's going to come back a little, but whatever. I mean, we're looking at minute charts and trading NQ futures as, prop firm degenerates. We're not looking at, you can look at the hourly and the daily, to get a bird's eye view, but you really want to watch the shorter time frames. I do like looking at the hourly, because you might see running a hit like the 300 or the 200 or any of the big moving averages, and you can see it'll either bounce there or reject there or whatever. But look at what happened today. This is a great example of why the orb is so powerful. And also, this is the overnight session, so just be careful when you trade in the overnight. Have tight stops, because a lot of times you'll find, because the volume is so low, that things that normally would happen during regular trading hours won't happen in terms of how, it behaves, right? The market. So, but look what happened here. We had the pop out of the orb at the top of this channel, whatever, came back a little bit, but look what happened. It wouldn't fall back into the orb. It kept bouncing off the top. So it bounces, it hits the top of the orb here, bounces, goes up from the top of the orb is, 18,559, let's just say, goes up like 13 points to 72, actually goes a little higher, 74-ish, comes back in the next two candles, hits the top of the orb again, and actually wicked into it like a little bit and then bounced out of it, right? And then we're up from that bounce, we're up 59.11, so we're up 51 points from there. So like you could have I'm not saying you would get all of it, but if you played this bounce, just one contract, you're talking $1,000, trading the NQs during the overnight. That's huge. I don't know if you could have taken it anytime sooner, whatever. I mean, you could have taken it here and just raised your stop or whatever. But look what happened. It bounced off of there. Let me show you some other examples. I guess there wasn't really much to show today on the Qs. Now, also keep in mind during regular trading hours, and I'm not an expert. Like I'm still learning, but there's certain things you want to look for if you want to have an edge. Like you don't want to just trade just to trade, but you want to look for certain things to happen, like certain setups. And this is a great example of it. Bouncing off the top of the orb. There's also instances where it will hit the bottom of the orb and reject. There'll be times I forgot it was like just a few days ago or last week. It just kept hitting its head on the orb. Maybe would pop into it a little bit and just kept rejecting off it and just dumped. That was how a certain day happened. But when you're trading during regular trading hours, when the Qs are going, the Q ETF, you want to follow that opening range breakout, the orb with that, because this is the hourly, because that's the NQ, it holds more weight than the NQ during the day. The NQ kind of reacts. I mean, they move together. It's the NQ is the futures, the QQQ futures, but during the day, everything the NQ plays off of what the Qs are doing. So you want to play during the regular trading hours with the opening range breakout of the Qs. So let me show you, let me do 15 minutes here. I'll show you another example. So like during the overnight, you want to use the orb on the NQs. If you're going to trade it, just be careful during the overnight. So here's this was, it was riding along the 300. It couldn't get below the 300 on the 15. So this was today with all the craziness in the FOMC. So it's kind of disregard today. But here's another example. Let me hide this because it's blocking my. So the 20th, here's the bottom orb. Bounces right off the bottom orb, right? So here's the opening range breakout, goes to the top, rejects from off the 8. Is that the 8 or is that? Yeah, it's the 8. Hits the bottom of the orb and bounces off of that and just runs. Goes to the top, rejects a little at the top, and then just runs out of it. So, I mean, it's just, there's always going to be a lot of price action around the bottom orb. Like anytime I see, here's another example. So in this case, I mean, sometimes it'll just run right through, but it's not perfect, but it's definitely an area that you want to, let's say, so here's a good example. Bounces off the 34. We're still on the 15-minute time frame. Breaks into the orb and runs all the way to the exact top of the orb, and then the next candle, it gets out of the orb, like it pops out of the orb. I bet if I do a 5 minute, it's going to spread this out, and I'm going to have to find it again, but it probably, on the 5-minute chart, probably hit here, and then the next 5-minute candle came back to the top of the orb, and then it bounced off the top of the orb, and look at that run. I mean, that's a big pop, So it happens like that. Stuff like that happens all the time. So I would just say keep it on your chart, right? Here's another opening range breakout. You got the range here, and then the next candle goes to the bottom of the orb and bounces off of it and goes through it to the top. Comes back in. About halfway, it bounces back to the top, right? It goes to the top orb and then rejects off the top and dumps. So there's a lot of stuff that happens here. Here's another one. I think I just showed that one. Well, maybe not. But look, it hit its head on it, rejected, and then went through it. Yeah, I did show that one. Just keep your eye on this. That's all I'm trying to say. The orb is powerful. Here's another example. It hit the bottom orb. It hit the top of the orb and bounced off of it. This was way over. There must have been CPI data that day. I don't even know, but look, it just was way out of the stratosphere. Sometimes it's tough because, like, you don't, even though they had orb, then you don't, like, what do you do? So you got to have other strategies in place when you're trading. But here it is again, riding along the top of the orb and bouncing off of it. Let me go to the hourly because scrolling is just getting crazy. All right. Let's see. Let's see here. No, I like the 15-minute better. But just keep this on, like if you're using TradingView, keep the orb, the 15-minute orb on your charts, because you'll see. Just keep an eye on it. Watch it. You'll see stuff like this happen. What was this? The 18th. You'll see a lot of things happen at the bottom and at the top, whether it's a rejection off the bottom or a bounce off the top, or it gets into the orb and just runs all the way through to the top. I mean, that's a big move, and you can capture it if you see it. You know, you watch it. So anyway, that's all I got for you. I hope you find some value in this. If you're I'll drop my Apex and my Take Profit Trader links below if you want to give them a try. I don't know what prop firm you're trading with. There's so many of them, but if you want to give Apex a try, they're always running crazy sales and always being aggressive in terms of how quickly they'll let you pass an eval. Right now they're doing a 1-day promo. Take Profit Trader, they're not as aggressive with their promotions, but they have some good ones. Like right now, I think you get 50% off evals and then 50% off resets. So that's pretty cool. But either way, I don't care if you click on my links. That's just, the little bit of money I get there just helps support me in the channel and helps me be a degenerate and get more evals with Apex. So anyway, yeah. I hope you got some value out of this. Like I said before, if you give a thumbs up, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. All right. Thanks for watching if you made it this far, and I'll talk to you soon. Have a great day.